Brooks Whittington with halfwheel.com, and today we're taking a look at the Benchmade 1500 181 cigar cutter. Now, I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're thinking, Benchmade is a knife company. What are they doing with a cigar cutter? Well, they did produce a cigar cutter. They just came out with it just recently this year, and they had 250 numbered units with the cigar cutter. Now, the cigar cutter itself is extremely well made. Carbon fiber with a stainless steel blade. Very, very easy to open. Has what they call an axis lock, which is essentially a way to open the blades from either side, one side or the other. You can open it. It's very, very, very well made. As you can see, they are numbered. We have number 81 out of 250. Gorgeous, gorgeous looking. In fact, it has a real sapphires on the handle here, trigger, as well as a white gold bevel. The blade, as I said, is stainless steel. It comes open very easily when you click the when you do the trigger. Very solid. It's very, very heavy. It's 4.2 ounces, which is quite heavy for a cutter. Very well designed. Cuts up to 56 ring gauge cigars, and it actually has a lifetime warranty that includes sharpening, which is very unusual when you're talking about a cigar cutter in terms of the company itself covering it for that sharpening. They're all made in America, and they are definitely priced very, very interestingly. The MSRP on these are $1,000. Now, street price is about $850, but each one of them at $1,000. It made a splash when it was released, and it's definitely something that we wanted to take a look at and see exactly how it worked. Now, after about let's say 3.5 weeks using this cutter almost exclusively for every cigar that I cut for review and for personal use, I have come to the conclusion that it cuts very, very well up to a certain point and then does not cut well at all. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. The idea is that you open this cutter and you take this cigar and put it in here. And when you cut, it cuts very well, but at about 90% of the cigars that I cut, I had issues with the cap. It cuts very well for this part here, the very front, and then at the very end, it just destroys the cap. It cuts it and just leaves it just absolutely mangled. Now, 10% of the time, give or take, I had a pretty decent cut, but it was never so clean that I thought to myself, wow, that's just awesome. It does matter if you're cutting a little bit or a lot. If you cut just a little bit off of there, sometimes it does not have a problem, not very often. And when you cut more, that's when you've got the issues there. It's very obvious, and it happens just about every single time that you cut the cigar. Very simple to me. If you're going to cut and destroy the cap like that, it's very simple decision in terms of what we can recommend. $1,000 cutter should cut cigars extremely well every single time, and this one does not. It mangles them more often than not. It is definitely not something that I would spend the money on. The reason, I think, if you care, is that you are going to have a gap, and I'll show you a picture. There's a picture that will pop up here, and there's a gap in between the blade and the edge of the housing right there on the end, and I believe that's why that is cutting it just like that every single time. So, is the Benchmade 1500 181 worth the $1,000 MSRP that is charged for it? The answer is absolutely not. Not unless you want to spend a whole bunch of money for a really, really, really crappy cut. So that's my take. This is halfwheel.com. If you want to see more reviews on cutters, lighters, cigars, just about anything having to do with cigars, check out the website halfwheel.com.